Hi everybody, Christopher Rutz, Tough Training Guy. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. Also remember to like this and subscribe to Tough Training if you're not already doing so. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Tough Training. Tonight we're going to talk about the Tough Training philosophy of training for obstacle races, specifically running. I am a Spartan SGX coach. I am also CrossFit Endurance certified. So I blend those two together to come up with a unique approach to programming and training for the run of an obstacle race. Really, I want to focus on a few things. One is, as much as you can, you need to train on trails. You need to train on an environment that is very similar to what you are going to be racing on. Ideally, you want to be training on trails for every run that you do. And you want to be aware of the differences between running on a treadmill, running on pavement, and running on trails, and then also running an obstacle race, which is often going to be somewhat on trail, but also off trail. The impact on your body is different. The impact on your cardiovascular system is different. The impact on your legs is different. The impact on your ankles is totally different. So my suggestion is, as much as possible, your runs need to be on an environment that are very similar to an obstacle race that you're going to encounter. So trails, off trail, mixing it up, getting outside, getting off the pavement, getting off of that treadmill. So if that means sand, if that means parks, if that means running some trail, running some pavement, whatever it is, you need to get your body used to being able to run on those trails. So speaking of the environment that you want to train in, you want to have hills if possible, you want to have mountains if possible. Hiking steep inclines is also very typical of what you're going to find in a Spartan race or an obstacle race, so you want to integrate those into your training. My programming that I do consists primarily of 3 major runs a week. So I typically have, for myself, a run on a Tuesday, a run on a Thursday, and then a longer run on Saturday and Sunday. My midweek runs will tend to be interval runs. So I'm going to be running some 400-meter repeats, 800-meter repeats, 2-minute repeats, 3-minute repeats, 4-minute repeats. I have a shorter interval day, so those will be generally less than 400 meters, less than a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And then I have a longer interval day that's going to be greater than that. So you're going to have running intervals greater than 400 meters or greater than a minute. So you might have some mile repeats. You might have 800-meter repeats. You might have 1,200-meter repeats. It really varies from workout to workout, week to week, day to day, depending upon my goals or my athlete's goals. So those are my midweek runs. So on a Tuesday or Thursday, you'll see me out on the trails with my interval timer set. I'll be running shorter intervals with a rest and recovery period in between. That rest and recovery period, sometimes it's going to be a dead stop. Sometimes it's going to be a walk. Sometimes it's going to be a light jog. Sometimes it's going to be a tempo run. However that particular workout is, whatever that particular terrain is, I will adopt a different strategy for my recovery period. So those are my 2 midweek runs. On the weekend, I have a longer run, anywhere from a fast-paced run of 5K, 10K, up to a 10-miler. Sometimes it's done by time, an hour run, an hour and a half run, a 30-minute run. But it is not, again, it's going to be on trail, and it's going to be more intense than if you were running, 10 miles on the road or 5 miles on the road or whatever that might be. So also what I will do with those weekend runs is mix those up from weekend to weekend, throwing in some obstacle-specific strategies along the way. So that long run might incorporate a sandbag carry for a portion of it, or a bucket carry for a portion of it. A lot of different things can be thrown into that, and that's what I program for my athletes as well as myself, is adding that specificity that you'd find in an obstacle race into the run workouts that I do. So really, if you're out just running 5 miles a day, 5 days a week, to get ready for the obstacle race, that's not going to give you the desired results that you might want. It might get you through the race. If you want to get to that finisher's medal, great. But if you want to feel good about what you did, if you want to run a good race, if you want to be competitive, you need to fix up your running. You need to run short intervals, you need to run long intervals, and you need to simulate that obstacle race as much as possible as you can during those long runs. So that's just a little bit of my philosophy on running, training for an obstacle race. Hopefully that gives you some insight into some tweaks that you might be able to make for your training. And obviously, if you'd like some additional information or if you want some coaching from me, I can provide that to you. You go to my website, livethetoughlife.com/coaching, and you'll find information on the coaching services that I can provide to you and provide you with the programming for not only the running, but the rest of the training that goes along with it to meet your needs along the way. So hopefully that provides you again with some good information for your runs. If you have any additional questions, feel free to ask questions here on YouTube. You can email me, chris@livethetoughlife.com. And again, as I noted earlier, follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Tough Training, as well as at Tough Ruts on Twitter. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.